Welcome to the President's Podcast, the latest in the Difference Maker series from Chartered Accountants worldwide. We will be addressing trends and reflections from the World Congress of Accountants and seeing how the profession can play an instrumental role to enable sustainable economies for the future. In every episode, we'll feature a president from one of our member institutes to give their unique insights into the important role the accountancy profession plays as a protector of public interest. Today, I'm joined by Pat O'Neill, President of Chartered Accountants Ireland. Welcome, Pat. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Antje, for having me.
How did you become a chartered accountant and eventually president of your institute?
Oh, well, a long journey. The journey started in our second level education system, and I do think that the education system is really important in terms of setting people on their journey. I really enjoyed business subjects, including general business studies and also accounting. Although the accounting syllabus is outdated now and requires a significant overhaul, we are working together with our Department of Education here in Ireland to try and shape that. And actually, I met the Department of Education as recently as this week in terms of looking at that syllabus. But back in the day when I was coming through the system, it did provide a good grounding at that time to the work accountants were doing then. I subsequently took a primary degree in business studies at the University of Limerick on the west coast of Ireland, majoring in accounting and finance. That was a really excellent 4-year course with 2 6-month work placements. Which was really invaluable. So it gave me a great insight as to what it was actually like to work as an accountant in real life before I qualified. I do think that practical experience should be part of all undergraduate studies internationally. I then embarked on my qualification route as a chartered accountant with Ernst & Winnie at the time, which became Ernst & Young and now EY here in Dublin. I got some great experience working with some great Irish and international companies. And when I qualified, I went to work for EY in Dubai for 2 years. And again, great to work with people and businesses in a different environment and culture. I was exposed to US accounting when I was there and also helped to prepare some nationals from the UAE for the AICPA exams in the US. So when I came back to Dublin, I was really fortunate to be able to utilize that US experience as many Irish tech companies were listing on NASDAQ in the late 1990s. So I got to travel over to the US West Coast quite a bit. And it was really exciting to help those companies to go public and raise capital in the US markets and help them through the rigors of quarterly US public company reporting. Around the time, one of the partners in the firm who'd been my training principal encouraged me to run for election for our provincial Chartered Society Committee. That was way back in 1998, and I became the chairman of that society in 2002. That was really exciting at the age of 32. Presenting some big events for our members. I remember the Published Accounts Awards where we got all the public and private companies to submit their accounts and they were judged and awarded for excellence in various reporting areas. Welcoming our then Minister for Finance to a members' lunch or hosting 1,000 people at our Christmas lunch. So when my firm asked me to contribute once again to the profession in 2014, actually, by running for election to the Irish Council of Chartered Accountants, I was very happy to be in a position to do that, and the firm have been really supportive since that. There's quite a bit of committee work for members along the way. I served on our Education Lifelong Learning Committee, Ethics and Government, then chaired our Audit Risk and Finance Committee over the years before putting myself forward for the president role. But I do find it really rewarding to be able to work on behalf of our members, whether that's been through promoting new advances in what we teach and how we teach those on the qualification route. I was a big proponent of introducing data and analytics and financial services into our syllabus here, or working with Advocacy and Voice to promote the profession, including being very vocal during my own term about reform of the syllabus for accounting in our second level system here.
Sounds like you've had a really impressive and very interesting career with a huge range of roles and also travel. So turning now to the World Congress of Accountants that was held in Mumbai last year, which of the 8 key themes really resonated most with you and why?
I guess from the very start of the Congress, I mean, we had a really great panel discussion around the role of the accounting profession in sustainability. I think it was one of the many themes that resonated with me. But there was a great panel discussion at the start. I personally would have to kind of say that our EY managing partner Julie Teaglin spoke in that panel on the importance of trust for the accounting profession, and that was a common theme actually throughout the Congress, and maybe we'll be able to return to that during the course of our conversation. But the need for sustainability to be based on that trust, a foundation of ethical behaviour, and the importance for the future of the profession of inspiring young people who enter the profession, investing in skills and technology. So I think sustainability reporting, was one of those themes during that panel discussion that really encapsulated some of the really key things that are impacting our profession at the moment. But sustainability reporting, as we all know, is the single biggest change to the work of accountants since probably the formalization of accounting standards back in the day. The train of sustainability reporting has left the station, and in 18 months, we're going to be entering into the first reporting season, certainly here in Europe, for sustainability. Really important for many accountants in the professions, in the finance functions of some of our larger companies, and also some of the smaller companies, because they're in the value chain for some of the larger companies who have to report on some of these metrics, and that the larger companies are going to be reaching out to these SMEs to look for information. So it goes right across the piece. In the profession, for those helping companies to either prepare that information or provide assurance on it. And for those working in the investing arena and the public sector, they're going to have to be helping stakeholders to make decisions based on this newly published information. And this is, all at a time, Antje, when we are already seeing capacity constraints in accounting globally. So it's a big challenge, and it's front and center right now.
So if you think about capacity and so on, what do you believe are the key challenges and the opportunities that are facing the profession, and how can they be taken forward? Do you think it is about making the profession more attractive? Do you think it is about highlighting and emphasizing, the role of the chartered accountant as a trusted professional, as the nexus of an organization?
Yeah. When I took on the role of president, Antje, that attractiveness, the ability to attract and retain talent in the profession was clearly what I was hearing from our members in profession and in business. So going out to meet people in the firms, people in industry, and the supply demand dynamic there, just to be able to fulfill that capacity constraint and have enough people in the profession and enough good people, I think is really important. It is a challenge for us at the moment. I do reflect on the Congress. The Indian House Speaker quite rightly talked about how the accounting industry must be supported by the education system. And so I do believe that the education system has a really, really important part to play. I talked earlier about my own endeavours with the second level syllabus here in Ireland. It's outdated. It's been around since the 1990s. So we're actually technically teaching some stuff that's out of date at the moment. But also the syllabus doesn't really give the young person who's thinking about entering the profession the right sense of what a modern accountant actually does in terms of the role they play and the decision making, their involvement now in areas like sustainability, in areas like data analytics. So it's a really exciting, dynamic profession, and to be able to present that picture to those young people when they're right in the middle of making their career decisions is so important. And the parents are as much as important in that decision in many ways as the individual students. So it's really important that we have an education syllabus globally that does promote the thrust of what an accountant does. And that, just coming back, you mentioned the whole trust people. I was struck by Julie Teaglin's call to inspire our young people entering the profession. We need to invest in skills and technology, and she highlighted that. That's future-proofing the profession in some ways, but also making the profession more attractive to our young people who are already so literate in skills and technologies that we more established accountants are grappling with, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and I think, if we think about the future of the profession, there's a lot of chatter about the fact that chartered accountancy is losing out to technology sectors and so on. And I think perhaps there's not enough emphasis put on the fact that the chartered accountancy qualification makes you almost a citizen of the world, doesn't it? And it allows you to move into pretty much any sector you choose. There are many chartered accountants that are CFOs of, Premier League football clubs or of fashion houses or of, technology companies. And I think there might be a disconnect in the brains of some of the younger people when they hear the term chartered accountant and what they think that means and what the reality could be. So how do you see the future of the profession, and how do you think that we can make the profession more attractive to Gen Z?
Yes, I think you're absolutely right, Antje. That role modeling piece is really important. And when people come through the profession, the training contract, more than 80% of them leave the profession in the strictest sense of the word and go on to other varied careers. And so that role modeling piece is really important. Even in Ireland, and I take it as a great example, we have 5 members in our kind of in our government bodies, including 4 of those being ministers who are members of Chartered Accountants Ireland. So clearly influential in the day-to-day operation of the country, of the economy, and so really important that they're held out as role models. People working. I've got one of my own ex-colleagues who's running a soccer team or a football team in Colorado. So, great that a member of Chartered Accountants Ireland can take that qualification and go out and do something really different with it. But all with the basic skill sets that they left the training contract with, which was the ability to understand finance, the ability to use that information to make decisions that are going to make their businesses successful. So I think that's a really important part. I just want to return to the trust piece, and again, it was really a central piece of the Congress in many ways, but and referenced by many speakers. And it really is another key part of the future of the profession. We need to maintain and build the trust that's out there already. I've always felt that there's a 3-legged stool: the accounting profession, those charged with governance at board and at C-suite level, and the regulators. The audit profession has perhaps not unsurprisingly been the focus of reforms to date. And of course, governments have been cautious about turning their focus to businesses who have been struggling in the recent past with the pandemic, with the global energy and cost challenges, in terms of burdening them right now with more regulation. But it's an important part of the dynamic that each of those 3 parties have an equal say at the table of trust in the functioning of capital markets. And one of the speakers at the Congress talked about the role of the accountant in that trust equation, and I was particularly struck by it and remembered it. He said that we're there to resolve the asymmetry of information that exists between those who want to raise money from the bond or equity markets or even bank financing, and those who are providing that finance. So, in his words, we're such a vital cog in the proper functioning of capital markets, businesses, and the entire economy. And I think that circles back then to the attractiveness of the profession in helping, those who are thinking about a career choice to say, you have a really important part to play here in business and in the entire economy. And so what an attractive opportunity that is for a career choice.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And actually what's really interesting is that World Congress, of course, brings accountants together from all corners of the world. And it really is an opportunity for individuals, I suppose, to feel part of something bigger. What do you think are the benefits of being part of a global professional family like Chartered Accountants Worldwide, for example, and also being able to attend an event like World Congress?
I think the Congress, Chartered Accountants Worldwide, the broader family, the community of accountants, they're all intertwined. Chartered Accountants Worldwide provides, I think, a tremendous opportunity to collaborate across international boundaries with some of the challenges facing the profession. And as I said recently in my annual address to our own members, something like the capacity issues in the profession are global. They might be more acute in some areas of the globe, but they're a common theme. And so as I attended the IFAC conference just in advance of WCOA, also in Mumbai, that was front and center, possibly for the first time at the very top of the agenda is that challenge of capacity and attractiveness of the profession. So to be able to meet fellow professionals from other jurisdictions to talk about, not just the challenges, but in a really positive way, to be able to discuss some of the things that other members of other institute bodies have been doing to address some of those challenges is really good, just in terms of that knowledge sharing and grappling with those challenges. So you really get to see that when you attend the Congress. It gives you a great ability to network with your peers, and to build out relationships which will stand you in good stead in terms of picking up the phone to talk about these challenges as we go forward.
Oh, that's fantastic. Pat, do you have any other reflections from WCOA you'd like to share?
I thought the Institute of Chartered Accountants in India did such a fantastic job hosting the conference. What a challenge with so many people from so many nations. The warmth of their representatives and delegates brought me back to my own time working with Indian colleagues for 2 years in Dubai. So just really a big thank you on behalf of Chartered Accountants Ireland and all of our members who I represent for the insights, the knowledge sharing benefits from my time at the Congress.
Amazing, Pat. Now, before I let you go, I'd like to take you a little off-piste, if I may, and ask you quite randomly, what was the first record you ever bought? And was there a story behind that purchase?
Oh, my first record that I ever bought was in terms of the old kind of 45 single was probably Save Me by Queen. And I'm not sure there was a particular story behind it. I hope it wasn't, a portent for Save Me from the accounting profession career. but clearly, Queen were a fantastic rock band at the time. So many fantastic hits. And that was my first delving into a taste of their music.
Pat, listen, thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely delightful talking to you, and many thanks. And don't forget, you can listen to the rest of the series either on the Chartered Accountants Worldwide website or wherever you choose to listen to your podcasts. Thank you. Bye-bye.